dear learners, this is Ma'am Joylyn D. Chavez, and welcome to another fun-filled and fantastic day of learning. For today's video lesson, we are going to discuss about hypertext and intertext. Are you ready? Great, let's get started.
Please make sure to prepare your pen and paper so you can take note of the important parts of this lesson. Before we dig deeper into our topic, let me ask you a question. Which one do you prefer? Printed books or soft copy of books? I know some of you might answer printed reading materials since printed texts are still easier to read because it won't strain your eyes that much compared to digital books. I personally love reading printed materials since looking at the screen for a long time gives me headache. But on the other hand, I know some of you might also prefer digital reading materials since ebooks are easier to access. It is one click away and you can even save that into your laptop and cell phones, making it more convenient compared to traditional books. As a matter of fact, many students benefit from using digital copies of modules and activity sheets during pandemic. When we are reading printed materials, we are actually reading linear text. When we say linear text, these are the texts that needs to be read from beginning until the end for you to better understand the entire materials. This type of text typically follow a sequence or order. That is why, class, when you are reading a novel, you should not skip pages because you will lose track of the story if you miss some chapters. Meanwhile, due to the advancement of technology, it becomes easier for some authors to make use of non-linear texts, such as hypertext. Let us start by defining what hypertext is. According to the dictionary, hyper means excessively or extremely, above or beyond. Meanwhile, text means written or printed work. When you combine those two words, it means beyond text. It means that the text can still be expounded and more information can be provided. Hypertext is used to define a text that is interactive and can be accessed by clicking on hyperlinks. Hypertext has link references that are connected to another piece of text. It is widely used in blogs as a medium to connect to other articles on the same website or external websites. Take a look at this word, hypertext. It is in blue font and it is underlined. This word is a hypertext because it contains hyperlink that can lead us to another information. Let's try to click it. By clicking it, it leads me to another information about hypertext. It goes to show that hypertext is a certain word from a text with a link attachment. And when you click that word with a link, it will direct you to another page which contains further information about the particular word. Let's say hypertext. So it says here that the term hypertext was coined by Ted Nelson, who defined it in his self-published literary machine as non-sequential writing. He described hypertext as a series of chunks connected by links that offer readers different pathways. It is simply a non-linear way of presenting information rather than the traditional linear process of reading from beginning to end. Readers of hypertext may follow their own path, create their own order, their own meaning out of the materials that connect topics on a screen to related information and other text sources. You might also think about hyperlinks as we discuss about hypertext. Actually, hypertext and hyperlinks are very much related, but it has different meaning. The prior difference between the hypertext and hyperlink is that the hypertext is the nonlinear representation of the data, which when clicks, redirects you to some other page. On the other hand, the hyperlink is the link embedded in the hypertext to which the control is transferred. Let us now proceed with intertext. An intertext, unlike the former, refers to any references made between texts like books or movies. These are all interconnected through these references, which may either be implicit or hidden or explicit, clear. It also makes use of quotations from other works for contextualization purposes. It means that the author is linking the text that they are writing to another work of art such as movies, books, and other sources, but this time without the use of technology. They are linking through writing as well. For you to better understand, let me give you an example. Do you know the song of Taylor Swift entitled Love Story? Let's listen to the song. Taylor Swift's song Love Story makes intertextuality reference to Romeo and Juliet. This song is inspired with Romeo and Juliet, which is a play written by Shakespeare. It is a tragic love story where the two main characters, Romeo and Juliet, are supposed to be sworn enemies but fall in love. Due to their family's ongoing conflict, they cannot be together, so they kill themselves because they cannot cope with being separated from one another. Intertextuality can take many forms, and you'll recognize many of them from your favorite books. Here are some types of intertextuality you may have encountered. First one is retelling. Retelling is when an author restates what other texts contain. It could be in the form of retelling of a narrative or expression of an idea or concept. In the Bible, for example, several passages in the New Testament retell stories found in the Old Testament, such as in Acts 13:17-22, shown here from the New Living Translation. Intertextuality is the point where two works of an art overlap. In terms of film, it's where a movie overlaps with another work of art, whether that be another film, a work of literature, or another art form. It is an idea that any text has been influenced and shaped by texts that have come before it. It's like retelling it to a new version. Take a look at these examples. Do you know the movie Maleficent? This movie is greatly inspired by the story of Sleeping Beauty, but in this movie the focus is on the point of view of the side of the antagonist. Another one is the show of GMA Victor Magtanggol, which is obviously inspired by Marvel movie Thor. Another type of intertextuality is the allusion. Allusion is a statement that directly or indirectly refers to an idea or passage in another text without actually quoting the text. For example, Menandro's nose is growing like Pinocchio. It is very evident that the sentence is inspired with a children's story entitled Pinocchio. As we all know, Pinocchio is a story about a wooden puppet whose nose grows long whenever he lies. So when you see the sentence, Menandro's nose is growing like Pinocchio, as a reader, you will automatically think that his nose is growing long, especially when you are familiar with the story of Pinocchio. Another type of intertextuality is quotation. In this kind of relationship, the author directly lifts a string of words from another text. An example of a quotation is when you take a passage from Shakespeare and repeat it as written without changing any of the words. Let us now proceed to the difference between hypertext and intertext. First one is difference in context. Hypertext is the linking of the content on one website to another. Meanwhile, intertext references are not generally visible. Let's say, for example, in the song Love Story, you won't know about the reason behind the lyrics if you do not know about the book of Romeo and Juliet. That is because it is in the form of intertext. Next one is difference in usage. Hypertext is the type of text that readers can go through quickly. It is easy to navigate and help users get an idea about what the article or page might be talking about without reading everything else in detail. They link to another useful resource that can be used to get in-depth information about the topic. On the other hand, Intertext is more complex since there is no linking involved. Instead, you have to read each line thoroughly because they are long sentences that contain important information that the writer has included as a reference for its reader. Another difference is that hypertext is more popularly used on blogs as they provide the flexibility of linking to another useful resources on the internet. Meanwhile, Intertext is used in academic papers and books which are printed on paper. Let us now proceed to the similarities between the two. The main similarity between the two is they are both used to help expand a topic or idea. Even though the method they choose is a bit different, the purpose is the same. That is to provide extra valuable information to its reader so that they can better understand what the authors are trying to say. And that's it! I hope that you have learned something in today's video lesson. Thank you so much for listening. See you in our next video lesson. Bye!